Okay. At the same time, let's say when it comes to music, you gave a specific requirement of this is the context, you have to make it, you can use gibberish lyrics. Let's say sing
Yeah.
some
Correct.
Karebag, Ring a Ring Roses, Jingle Bell, whatever he'll sing. You might have that sensibility to judge and filter them on how well it
Correct.
was arranged or everything. But the audience will just look at whichever they sounded it nice. They will not look at the technical or the
Yeah,
creative
correct,
aspects
fine,
of it.
fine, fair enough, yeah. But that is the whole point. If you're listening to a song as a
Hmm.
normal viewer, you're not going to look at technical, whether it's Rahman or Ilayaraja or the DSP or anybody, you will eventually listen to whether you like it or not.
Okay,
Yeah, the
so
same thing goes there. So you
with,
don't need to know.
hmm,
See, if somebody actually sings a tune, you like it or you don't like it.
so but
No.
when people are submitting to you, should they keep in mind the final that audience that they will be selecting, or should they keep in mind that the team that will be filtering?
I mean, see, they don't know the team also.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, they will have to be true to what they think
Okay.
is right.
So they just
Yeah.
have to believe in themselves, make
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
and hope
Correct,
somebody
correct.
likes it. If they
Yes.
do like it, then that means you have some sort of validation.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say this whole process is sorted and you got a team together. Don't you think there will be a possibility of creative difference between them and the coordination issues or something like that? Because this happens even in people who decided to work together.
No, that's what I'm saying. See, the creative difference is going to come in the context of the director.
Right.
Because once the audience choose the director, he is going to take all creative call. Where RGB Dunn is not involved, nobody is involved,
Right.
including the audience also.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. They are choosing the music director, the actor X and Y and Z. After that, we leave it to the director to make the film.
Whatever genre he
Yeah.
wants, whatever type of story
No,
he
yeah,
wants.
yeah, of course. As long as the basic storyline what we selected is done.
I didn't get that last
I
part.
gave an idea of
Right.
this, of the story is about a couple run off and blah
Right.
blah 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 blah.
Right.
On that, the writer is giving synopsis.
Hmm.
Okay, the director also can double up. He also can be a writer.
Right.
Yeah, no, he also can put that, but he is coming under the heading of a writer.
Okay.
Okay, so in those submissions, if they voted for this is the best writer, let us say one person, so he becomes a writer.
Right.
Then he and the director are collaborating.
That's
After
where the
that,
creative
yeah.
difference will
No,
start.
that creative difference, the director eventually will be given as a final thing, final word.
Okay.
Yeah.
But doesn't that undermine?
But you see, my point is, but the whole see, the writer, how much is he writing? He's writing a synopsis,
Okay.
not the whole thing.
Okay.
But the director will be given a choice in terms of what he wants to interpret. That can be possibly, I will say, if he writes a synopsis and the writer writes a synopsis, and I can put those two also for
Oh, yeah.
testing.
Okay.
Because the creative aspect, we can't give away too much, then there is nothing in the film.
No, but if you are going to compare the director synopsis and the writer synopsis, that is again giving the choice to the audience rather than the director himself, right?
I mean, getting into that, I mean, I feel, see, also since they're all new people at the end of the day, I do not technically believe that's going to be, because like lot of times directors don't listen to writers.
Yeah.
Some directors listen to, depend on writers. So the writer's job is to do the best extent, and the director, I would like to believe, is the captain finally,
Exactly.
what he takes or not. As long as it doesn't disturb the synopsis which has been agreed, interpretation of the synopsis and how the story continues, I will always give it to the director.
But if you that I agree, but if you put this to again vote, that means you are undermining
No, no,
his
I'm
judgment.
not, that is the wrong thing I said.
Okay.
Yeah, there is no voting there. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, let's say the writer wants to like give it a happy ending, but the director wants he wants to kill the characters.
Yeah, correct.
Here where the creative difference might have
The
started.
writer is being gauged only by the premise of the film,
Right.
and just the start of what are the principal characters. Since that is being approved by the audience, that won't be changed.
Okay.
Taking forward the story, its interpretation, the narrative style, all that will be left to the director.
Director.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Let's assume. So that will be the base plot of the final film that will be made.
Yeah.
not of the
Correct.
director's choice.
Yeah, yeah.
A director can't come up and say, I have a much better idea, let's say make
Yes,
that.
yes. No, 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 no.
You have to make the
You
final
have to
film
make
on this
that.
idea.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So if again this I feel at the same time is you're giving
See,
control but also taking away certain
for
liberty.
example, if I am telling the story of a guy
Hmm.
who came into the city to make a living for himself, for some reason he got into the underworld,
Hmm.
and there was a girl who loves him, but she doesn't know he's a gangster. Okay. At some point of time, he wanted to come out, but it's too late by that time. So now this is like a very short synopsis of the
Right.
story. This you can make it in 10 different ways.
Yeah, yeah.
That could be the directorial aspect
Yeah.
to it. As long as this doesn't change
Hmm.
in this synopsis level, you know.
Okay.
Like one time, um, some director suggested to me when I was making Satya, he said, why don't you shoot the entire thing from the point of view of the girl?
Okay.
The girl is doing something and she met this guy and she loves him. Only in the end she realizes that he's a gangster.
Okay.
You can make Satya like that also.
Yeah.
Who knows what will be better? That we don't know that.
Yeah.
So that also, by the end of it, you will still be the same synopsis.
That I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
So-
So this interpretation of how you want to tell the story, that I will leave it to the director.
Okay. But let's say he came up with something that he wants to make it in a certain way, but the writer, the synopsis or the plot that he gave, which the audience voted and everything, will that not be undermined then?
No.
Sure.
It won't, because I am giving the writer only the choice of only that much.
Okay.
And the director coming on board also is already agreed to that.
Okay.
Which is the reason is there in
Okay.
the first place. So I don't think that is going to be a problem.
This overall, what feels to me like it's not a perfect democracy, it's like a pseudo democracy.
How do you say that?
Because at the end of the day, maybe the selection process or the final making process, both are still being at some level dictatorial, right?
See, I mean, that is no. See, for example, if the if I am selecting a guy, no, why am I selecting that guy? Why did Nagarjuna select me as a director? Over a period of discussions or something, he just trusted me that
Right.
I know what I am talking about.
Yeah.
Then he is not going to get into which scene is being shot, how, why are you putting this take or that,
Yeah,
this and that. That is not possible.
That I agree.
Okay, like an actor, once he's proven his credentials, how he approaches the character, how he interprets it, we have to leave it to him. Yeah. Similarly, the music director is given the tune, so he is proving his credentials of what he is supposed to be.
Definitely.
Then I will do this kind of a BGM or that kind of a thing or this or that, whatever. We leave it to his interpretation of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Here, I just thought of something. See, based on what you said only, you had a one-on-one interaction. I think human one-on-one interactions are very different from online or social media third-party interactions, like say Big Boss or whatever it is, or Instagram likes. The Insta life of people and the real life of people is very different.
Yeah.
So this process entire is right now what I'm seeing is very digital. In this digital process, audience might not know the true thought process or the
But
true
why do
feeling
they
of
need
the
to know?
filmmaker.
Why do they need to? Where is the need for a one-to-one interaction? Because I'll tell you why. There is one guy who sent me a certain scene. I wrote in text and said, and I and my partner and the investors are so impressed. We took him as a we gave him a huge web series. Okay? And I didn't meet him.
Makes sense.
I don't know him. I don't want to know him.
Okay. As long
Because
as the work is done.
he is proven his merit for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as the work is getting done properly,
Yeah.
it should be fine.
So in the parameters, how is budgeting and what he wants and this and that, all that is in a format completely well established.
Okay.
So after that, I don't need to meet him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say for the actors, I understood that initially it will be photos, later on audition videos, then you might give certain tasks. It's like at least a threefold process. For the directors and music and everything, what I've seen online in the website, is it like based on all the entries, 7 will be shortlisted, within which will be made public, and the public will directly select out of that the final people.
Correct.
Will your multifold process not be applicable to the director, music director, and cinematographer?
Not necessary.
Okay.
Because see, for example, I got a music submission from a certain person. Okay, I loved it. Okay. Now, apart from him being your film, which is going to be that, I have selected him for some other film as a music director.
That's personal choice.
That's a personal choice.
Okay.
But he will still feature there in your film.
Okay.
Why? Because this is not going to come before the your film concept comes.
Okay.
But I, on a personal level, I am so impressed. But there will be certain issues, because see, when a guy composing a tune, if he does not have access to a keyboard or some kind of a rhythm tools or whatever, he won't have a fair thing, because just to listen to his voice humming the tune versus a very properly programmed song will definitely have an unfair this thing when you are trying to select.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, in that context, I won't be surprised if he fails in that in your film.
Yeah.
But given proper tools to him, I am very convinced about it. So, I am taking that as a separate thing.
Okay. So, I want to give a small example.
Yeah.
There are these tech YouTube and Twitter and all these channels that they review the new phones and technology that comes out. They annually or last time also, what they do is iPhone, Samsung, all these cameras, they do a blind test. Like they'll take a bunch of photos on same thing from all cameras, put it out for voting on Instagram or Twitter, make the audience decide which they feel is the best camera, because everyone
I know, I am aware of that. Yeah.
So eventually, after multiple rounds of testing groups and everything, what they came to the conclusion was, okay, premium cameras, they'll definitely be short selected as the final thing. But throughout the process, what they realized is whichever was the brighter picture was got selected by the audience, rather than which has more depth or detail or sharpness.
Yes, yes.
So the same thing here also. Will this not turn into a beauty context, or more whoever has access to better tools will be selected by the audience than the process?
That is not a problem. See, because at the end of the day, you are also looking at the participants' sensibility themselves and their intelligence quotient also. When you are trying to impress somebody, how you put it across is one. Second, the final film, even if a person cannot afford to do a thing, and if you, like I said, write something as simple as it is bright, so that because of that he liked it. When you are making the film, he will be given the proper tools for the actual film.
Right.
Yeah. But in the context of him impressing just a general audience, impressing film people is different.
Yeah.
Impressing techniques is different.
Right.
General people to be impressed, they go to the core creative level.
Yeah.
They are not getting into all these other standards.
Right.
Yeah.
For example, recently a couple of songs, initially when they were launched or released, they got kind of backlash. But like a week later, they are the most trending songs where a lot of people liked.
Yeah.
So even when let's say these people send a certain type of music sample for the submission, some songs, even A.R. Rahman, they take like 2-3 hearings to get you hooked. But when people will listen the first time, they might hate it and they might disregard it.
See, those things will be there. This is nothing you can do about that.
It's part of the process.
That's a part of the process. Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody is saying anything is 100% foolproof. That is not possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm just asking this so that people who are sending submissions
I understand.
keep this in mind.
Yes.
So that because when you say it, they'll take it seriously. Okay. So let's say when
can I play you something which is very interesting, because if one listens, probably they will understand. Yeah. Keep talking. I'm just looking for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the photography for actors, the photographs that you are supposed to send, you mentioned the keyword of intense expression. Can you elaborate on that? Is it supposed to be something angry or something, or it can be any
intense? Because
it can be romantic look or anything.
No, I'm saying in the context of what I sent, probably the scene I wrote there.
Right.
Like for example, if you're just having a smile, I don't know what to make of it.
Right.
Because an actor is eventually about an emotion.
Right.
The ability to portray an emotion is when you see that. You can't see that in a smile or a casual thing or making a face, something, which is the reason I was specific about it.
Okay.
Intensity can be in anything, not necessarily violence. It can be fear. It
But as you
can
said,
be a
people
warning.
at the
It
core
can
level,
Hmm.
people at the core level will take it in that fundamental thought process. No?
Like
That
what? Like what?
like
What?
they are supposed to give some angry expression or some violent
Yeah, whatever.
expression.
Let them do whatever.
Okay.
I'm saying if you're applying for a contest, if you can't do even that much of basic research,
No,
anyway,
yeah.
in which you don't need to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, that I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
The initial whatever photographs will be selected, they'll purely be selected based on the looks,
Yeah.
and then they'll be checked if they are
See,
good at acting or
looks
not.
also, if you look at it, different people might still have different ideas on what is good looks.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
my thing like what will the team be considering there?
Of course. Yeah.
Because there is a good chance that, as I said, either they might miss out on Hrithik or they might miss out on Nawaz.
Yeah.
So we don't know who they are missing out
Yeah.
on until it is getting made.
Yeah.
Only once it is getting made, then we'll realize.
See, I'll tell you one major problem I see. Whenever I check most viewed
Hmm.
or most this, that, whatever, they generally tend to be very bad.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they sometimes might be catchy or
No,
sometimes
might be.
yeah.
I'm saying, but many nine out of 10 times,
Yeah,
I will be every surprised. Why is
Yeah.
this being appreciated so much?
Okay.
Okay, but the very fact people are appreciating, like, which means it is
Defies
not
the-
in your sensibility.
Yeah.
That's it. You know?
You might not be the target audience.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Okay.
Mm.
So I want to give a small example. In college or lot of places where there are like photography competition or short film competition, lot of them. Uh, there are some like really bad photos or really bad short films, but because they have a personal social circle or like they have a bunch of friends, they kind of get maximum votes and they get selected as the best
Correct.
photo or the best short film.
Yeah.
Do you see that possibility happening
That
here?
is that can't happen. See, because see, in that, like you said, there's a peer group, and eventually that group is also kind of controlling,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, in the sense, like for example, let's say, like in an Indian Idol. Now the judges will be mostly from the film industry guys,
Right.
big people. They are
Yeah.
choosing.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm asking outsiders to choose, only thing which can happen is if the 20 people also, I am putting for reasons which I will get. What will I get from them?
Right.
You
So,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Indian
So-
Idol or something also, I don't know how practical they are, but they do some shows have at least public voting. So, and again, there might be like some social bias or they'll put some tragedy story to get the audience, follow a certain particular artist.
yeah, correct.
And, out of sympathy, they'll get a lot of votes. All those things might be there.
Yeah.
So this out of way, apart from like how talented they are, these other category votes will also be significant. But I
Yes.
think in filmmaking, most of the target audience who will be voting are people who are interested in the process itself. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do-
correct,
huh.
correct. Absolutely right. You know, they would be having a minimum understanding of that.
Yeah.
Whoever approaches for
Yeah.
this kind of a thing. Yeah.
So one main question that I wanted to ask is all these other things you said you can do it in whatever language you want. Do the submissions need to have subtitles? Because that was not mentioned.
Okay, that could be an oversight.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
should we tell
Yeah,
the
you
audience
have
that there should be
subtitle.
subtitles?
Yeah,
Because
correct.
if
Can I
they're
play that
sending-
song? I
Sure,
just,
sure, please.
ఎగిరే గువ్వలాగా గాల్లో తేలిపోనా ఎగసే అలలపైనే వాలిపోనా తరిమే వలపువానా కురిసే నిదురలోనా నిజమై నన్ను చేరి తరుముతున్నా ఆశలే అలసిపోని తరుణం ఆగదే అడుగు ఓ క్షణమే నిన్నల లేని రేపటి ఉదయం నేడిల ఎదురు నిలిచినదే ఫ్రీడంతో ఫైటింగే చేసేస్తూ ఉండాలా అనుకుంటూ సాగేనా కల నాలో ఈవేళ ఉమ్మరియా జల్మస్తి చేద్దాం దునియా ఉమ్మరియా లైఫ్ అంటే దోస్తీరా ఉమ్మరియా
So, if this came as submission for your film, where this guy is written the lyrics himself, is singing himself,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have any instruments,
Arrangements, yeah.
arrangements.
Yeah.
He does not probably have the financial background for
But
that.
sounds very
Yeah.
melodic.
So now I can see what he can do with that.
Right.
So I took him
Definitely.
immediately for some film.
Personal choice.
Yeah, personal choice.
If I listen to it, I'll also take
Yeah.
it.
Now, if this is placed there,
Hmm.
now because I am a director, I have worked so many films, I can see the potential immediately.
Definitely.
But average listener, only to listen to a bare voice,
Hmm.
where someone else can come with a proper arrangement,
Hmm.
and that would be definitely an unfair thing to judge.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they
You know?
might.
So
focus
the
more.
fact that he doesn't have a background also, see what I will probably do, I might ask him to record it,
Hmm.
and I will spend money for that and put it there.
Okay.
Because I can see that I might not be able to do it for everybody, that thing.
No, but
But
don't
when
you
I
think
see a
that's
very obvious style, but that's okay. See, he has got a friend in me as RGV, and there's
Oh.
also RGV done.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But don't you think it's biased?
No. Why is it biased?
Okay.
Because see, I am eventually leaving the judgment to the audience only, you know. So whether someone
Right.
sent me,
Right.
even today, I might also see if some actor I find
Hmm.
now, okay, I might want my den to put him also one of the things there.
Definitely.
As long as decision making is not me, he's just among the 20 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just because somebody is known, that doesn't mean he's disqualified for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So the parameters are he shouldn't be known before. So all fresh people being judged by a fresh audience. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the whole point.
Okay. Makes sense. So, as the previous question, when it comes to people submitting in other language with the subtitles and everything, let's say the director got selected from, let's say, Malayalam or some Marathi, Gujarati director, you got selected, and he wants to make that film in that language. You are okay with that down the line?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever language.
Yeah, today language is the last thing which is.
No, but let's say the audience wants to see it in Telugu or
no, they're not
some
giving
language.
them that choice.
Oh, you're not giving the audience that choice. Okay, but
See, we would do predominantly the intention of having a larger market.
I agree.
You know, and there's no reason why anybody would say that I want to make it only in the small Oriya language or Marathi language. Nobody
No,
would say
because
that.
maybe he can find those nuances or on that it is there.
I mean, see see three principal languages we would be more. See, unless it's an extraordinarily great idea, which is, for example, let us say something like Kantara. Now, Kantara as a subject, whether it is made in Kannada or wherever, it will have it. So that then it depends upon the subject matter,
Yeah.
which is already.
Yeah.
So for the subject matter, Love on the Run or something like that I gave, I don't see any logical reason why you would want to make it in.
No, that is fine.
Yeah.
But as I say, even in Kantara, it's a very rooted cultural element that needs to be reflected. Let's say the people, whoever is coming up with the story, they want to do it in Kashmiri backdrop. As you said, the couple are running, some crime element is there. Why not Kashmir? There is a lot of conflict that can be portrayed. He wants to do it in authentic Kashmiri.
Yeah.
Then you will make it, but the audience will have to accept that.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. So down the line, let's say the actors that are getting selected, they are also getting selected from multiple languages. If the submissions come,
Yeah, of course.
when voting, don't you think the people of certain language will have that bias, like when they see other language auditions or when they are seeing other language sequences?
I mean, see that I feel, but all of that is a part of the process. Now,
Yeah.
see, if suppose a guy could be very good. I mean, I'm just giving an idea.
Yeah.
He could not have a voice also. I
Right.
don't know. No.
Yeah, yeah,
These kind of things will be there.
yeah.
You know, if, for example, if a Hindi actor does an audition and a Telugu actor does, obviously the Hindi people will prefer the Hindi guy
Yeah.
in any context, you know. But see, I think we are still working out on subsections to keep them separate in each language to do it by their own.
Okay.
Possibly we'll have to add that for this particular film, if you already decided to do it in a certain language, we are only going to take auditions of people who speak that language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
I mean,
not,
this is an interesting point. Let me just
Yeah.
look at that. Yeah.
uh,
To clarify that. Yeah.
because I was thinking when initially the first question that I wanted, like what's your target audience, because that's where most of
Yeah.
market research, or if we are making any product, let's say we are selling coffee powder, you do your market research. What geography am I
Yes.
selling, and what are my target audience? So, and I see how big the market is before I make something. The same
Yeah,
way
yeah.
here, when people are selecting, let's say because Hindi belt, if they are participating, then they'll have more votes. But
Yeah.
because if more Telugu audience are voting, they might select Telugu director or a Telugu actor. So see if it is comes under bias or is it comes under some geographic restrictions. That needs to be
Yeah,
considered.
yeah, absolutely correct. Yeah.
If somebody makes something like Kantara level performance, obviously Telugu people also will vote,
Yes,
because
yes,
we
yes.
have this unfair social media trolling that we
Yeah.
actually like more Malayalam, Tamil, and other language stuff than Telugu.
I think it's now it's whole jumbled up. I don't
Yeah.
know, I don't know who's belongs to where. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very confusing
Yeah.
for the audience also.
Yeah.